All right, we're getting to our favorite part of the show. Our favorites from this NHL draft. And we both just put Connor Bedard at number 1 because, like, come on, this is his draft. He won an award last year, the NHL awards. He's never even played a game in the NHL.
He's not even drafted.
Oh, not even. Well, that'll change tomorrow. Yeah. And seems like we could already see his top line. They just got Nick Foligno and Taylor Hall. Like, that's a nice veteran to stabilize him with Foligno, great locker room guy. And then obviously Taylor Hall has got some skill and experience playing with first overall pick as he was one himself. But I want to highlight who I have second on this list, Zach Benson, who people are talking, oh, he's small this, he's small that. This guy is feisty. He's competitive. He's an amazing skater. He's dynamically skilled. He can shoot. He can pass. If this guy falls out of the top 10, teams should be running to the podium to get him. He is a top 5 pick. He's number 5 for me, and he's number 5 for you for a reason. We have him ahead of Will Smith. He is a hell of a player, and it would be a shame if just because he's under 5'10" that he falls. And I remind everyone that the Conn Smythe Trophy winner was 5'9".
True. Yeah, Ross, I in my mind, I picture the 10th overall pick happening. It's not Zach Benson. And then, in the movies like Wall Street, when like crazy stuff is happening and papers are just flying everywhere, phones are ringing, people have 3 phones in their hands. Like, that's what I picture happening if Zach Benson makes it out of the top 10. So great pick. Zach Benson, arguably my favorite player in this draft. So I'm not going to argue with you here. Where I will argue with you, though, is
he's not arguably your favorite player in the draft. You actually have 2 guys ahead of him. So maybe you hate Zach Benson.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's fair. This is our favorites list here.
He's my favorite in the draft. Well, what are the 2 names ahead of him doing then?
In my defense, I said arguably, and we're having an argument about it. So I feel like that's a fair statement. But I'm going to switch over to Oliver Moore here as my guy to highlight. I think if that's another guy, if he doesn't go in the top 10, I think that's wild. And you can probably guess where I'm going to go with this based on my previous Shimshev argument, but it's the skating. And again, I'll reference EP. EP says they have never scouted a faster, more agile skater than Oliver Moore. I forget what the exact quote is, but they quoted saying of thousands of prospects and players they've tracked, only Connor McDavid had better skating numbers, whatever analytics they were using. Only Connor McDavid was ahead of him in a lot of skating categories. So I just think his skill, the skating skill, is so above everyone else, even above Simshev, in my opinion, that if you have that, everything else will fall into place. So I'm a big Oliver Moore guy.
And someone who I have on my list, I'm curious, and I want your take of why you don't have him on yours, Ryan Leonard.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair, because I do like Ryan Leonard a lot here. So I would.
Are you getting ahead of the fact that he might be a Montreal Canadian?
Yeah, honestly, that's probably a big part of it in my mind. But I could definitely switch a couple of guys on my list for Ryan Leonard because I do really like him. I was just trying to go with my favorites that are a little unconventional, like guys that aren't so obviously picked. Well, I guess that's a bad argument for me having Bedard number 1. But I was just trying to put my own spice on that, and I feel like Ryan Leonard already is getting enough praise. So I guess that's why he wasn't on my list. But I like him.
All good. That's why I went with 2 goalies. If you want to see our full list, you can check them out on YouTube as well. You can check out all of our draft profiles free and available to you for when the draft happens. Player gets picked. Boom. There's time between picks. You can just go click and watch at your leisure.